it counts down every time, and I'm like, oh, hi, like getting character.
There haven't been any shows well, there's been like the smaller shows and stuff, but the coverage is a bit crap for us to try and cover. So that's the only annoying thing. So I know there's been a few. There's been UK DFBA. There's been NABA. I think there was another show as well, but yeah, coverage is limited, so we can't.
By the way, what I
much.
will say is my posing client won the bikini overall at UK DFBA, so congratulations, Sophie. You looked mega. But yeah, I think you guys that tune in, you know how hard it is for us to comment on Two Bros shows. So we don't want to make it any harder for ourselves than we have to.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
If you ever want anything covered particularly, or if you've done a show and like obviously you're going to get judges' feedback, but if you ever do want us to like cover anything specifically and be helpful, then of course we will always do our best as well.
Do you know what I wonder? I wonder if we should do a segment on like rate my physique.
Oh yeah.
If anyone wants their physique rated, jump in our DMs, and then we could do like a little feature. We can like feature a few people and be like, this is what we think. I've just said that and sprung it on G now, like she had no idea that was coming, but
no,
I'm like,
to be fair, that's how we can just run this podcast. It's fine. But yeah, that could be a fun one. Like literally, like rate your physiques and like give you some feedback and stuff. So, but we didn't think about that
because I know there's some people who like have messaged me and said, oh, like my goal is to win a class so I can get some feedback from you guys. But I feel like maybe like if you guys want our feedback, then maybe we should have a little segment on rate my physique. If you pictures or videos, we can put them up and
more density, get leaner, off season, presentation. They can all be things.
Shape improvements, like
things that we go over. So that's definitely a podcast idea. So that's good. But this time round, we decided to do a Q&A. So a bit of an update on us, because we actually do get people interested in what we're doing. And then also, we did put a question box up, and we were very surprised we got questions.
Thank you, guys. We very much appreciate it.
This podcast would have probably been 15 minutes. So well done for keeping this alive.
We would have made something work, I'm sure. We're not shy when it comes to talking, but I've had some good questions. Whoever sent questions in, bravo.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy with some questions. So I know one of your questions. We haven't actually told each other the questions, so we're just going to be like, is it spitballing?
Shock
we're just
effect.
Going to be so we're just going to be doing that. But you did say, because we were going to talk about ourselves, and you did say one of your questions was a bit about us. So we may as well start with that question, and then we'll just roll on from there.
Yes, because we were thinking we were going to give a little update on what we're up to at the moment and all of that jazz. And then I had a question from someone saying that they would like to know what both of our long-term goals are with competing and life and business. So, yeah, do you want to start, G, and just give a little update? Like maybe we'll just do a little 2026 recap and then what we're thinking for the rest of this year, and then we can cover future.
So, like, what's my long-term goals of competing? I mean, genuinely, as long as I'm getting better. So I think there's so many people that's like road to IFBB Pro or whatever, which ultimately that's a goal I would be striving for, but I'm not in a rush for, because I like the look, especially like I know I'm never going to get to Olympia. I have a genetic limitation, but that is the look I'm striving for. So as long as I keep getting better, then that's the route I want to go down. And whenever I feel I'm not in it's not going to be my identity, basically. It's the route I'm going for. I want to grow into it. I want to keep, it gives me a goal, it gives me a focus, and I enjoy the process of it. And if I get it, fucking amazing. If I don't, as long as I keep getting better, if I'm setting that goal, perfect. As far as like, what do they say, business? Like
life and business.
Life. So probably where we're at now, I'm very happy with things, because I don't know if anyone knows about my backstory. I was vet nursing before. Matt used to be a delivery driver for like Hermes, and then he was a PT person online, like the tech people or the call person. So we've come from like not really having a lot and then just building this business up. So we've always said like as long as we can do something we love, we make people happy, and I'm living a life that the dog's happy, then we're peachy. So it's a very simple life. But yeah, that's the main thing. Like making sure anyone I do work with is enjoying themselves, making sure I'm enjoying myself along the way, and yeah, just making sure we keep that progression more than anything, and just keep learning and getting better with it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
You?
Well, shall I just give like a little update on what I've been up to? Because like obviously I haven't been like you, I haven't been on stage this year. So I've probably what I've been up to and what I'm planning has probably been a little bit more low key, I guess.
Yeah.
So obviously I last competed at PCA Worlds middle of November, and I guess in terms of like my goals for competing, I'm not planning on getting on stage this year. You know, I think that I acknowledge that I've got improvements that I need to make, and also with me, I don't like to do more than 2 years back to back anyway. Now I did take 2024 off, competed 2025 but my body just wasn't happy through that
Yeah, I
prep.
remember
Like
you
that's
saying about your digestive issues and stuff when I saw you at the finals.
it's probably one of the hardest preps that I've ever done. So like whenever people say, "Oh, preps get easier every time you do it," I'm like,
Yeah.
every prep is different, and I would take that with a pinch of salt because personally, I feel like prep should always feel hard if you're doing it properly. And I don't know if you agree with this at all, G, but like I actually felt like my first prep was the easiest prep that I ever did because I felt like ignorance was bliss. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know what to expect. So I just went along with the process. Whatever Josh asked me to do, I did it. Sometimes I was like, oh, this is hard. Let me see if I can crack on and keep going through this process. But ultimately, I didn't know what to expect. Whereas, like, I kind of feel like once you've got that first show under your belt, you kind of know what's coming, when it's coming, and you know when it gets hard, and you know what it feels like when it gets that hard. And sometimes there can be a little bit, I don't know if it's like this for you, but for me, I get a little bit of that dread when you're getting to that point where it's like, oh God, like I know we're going to hit a wall here, and this is where it's going to feel some kind of way. So I don't necessarily always agree with the saying that prep gets easier the more you do it. And I think as well, prep is hugely dependent on where your life situation is, your emotional state, your physical state, your stress state. Like there's so many things that impact how easy a prep feels that have nothing to do with how hard you're trying. So, you know, prep was hard on me last year. I think that even if I did want to compete this year, I'd probably be stupid putting my body through that after it was protesting quite hard last year. Also, I decided to go alone with my coaching brand. So prior to this year, I was a coach for CJM under Josh McHale. I decided to go back to my own brand, which is Team Jodie D, because I've got aspirations for what I want my team to be, in a sense of like, I don't just want it to be focused towards competitors. I want to basically help anyone that has any goals of bettering themselves, whether it's their general lifestyle, trying a photo shoot, getting holiday body ready. Like I've even got some High Rocks, CrossFit, marathon runners on the team. So it's like, you know, however I can support with being better, I want to do that. And I was very keen on kind of fostering a more inclusive team environment. That's not me saying that CJM isn't, by the way. It's just the dynamic with CJM was very heavily focused towards competing.
Very niche, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that that's the brand that Josh has built and what he's known for. So that's, you know, that's fair play. I just wanted different for my brand and the people that I'm working with, I guess. So this year I wanted to pour into that, and that's my goal for the rest of this year, is to make sure that I start building my brand towards what I want for my clients, and that the clients get the experience that they think they want, that I want them to have with me.
I think
Um,
that's a big
Carry on.
thing as well, isn't it? So it's like Matt is very competitor based. So as much as
Yes.
like we're a team unit, he is very much the male based, whereas like I am very female based, but I'm the same as you. Having the photo shoots, having the marathon runners, having the high rocks girls, like, or just even like the mums that are like, I just want to like get my identity back. Like, I think as us
Yeah.
being females and wanting to just help any female, there's such a stigma around when we're competitors, we only work with competitors. When actually,
Yes.
if you just genuinely want to feel good in yourself, that's what we find the joy in, is making sure that we can help just anyone feel like your best self. Like that don't, I think people
Yeah.
go, oh, you won't work with me because I don't want to get on stage. But
Yeah.
both of us will work with anyone as long as
Yeah.
you're wanting to do the work, you want to learn, all that kind of stuff, like be part of that team,
Yeah.
then that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was talking to someone about this literally today, where I was like, the amount of times that I have people jump on a consult call with me and they just want to improve their lifestyle and get in shape, but they don't want to compete or do anything extreme. And they'll always start the consult call with, I want to look and feel better, but I don't want to look like you. And
Oh my God,
I'm
so
like,
much.
thank you, thank
I
you,
mean,
but
that's kind of a compliment, but I'm going to put it out there. Don't worry, we won't. That won't be a mistake. That would be an intentional plan if that was the case.
I mean, I've worked very hard for a very long time to look like me, so it doesn't happen by accident. But no, you're right. I do think there is a stigma that if you're a bodybuilder, you will only work with people that want to do what you do. And obviously, we use, when your goal is aesthetics, right? You've got to understand that bodybuilding is like the creme de la creme of aesthetics. So, we will use principles that we would apply as bodybuilders, but we just don't take it to the same
Yeah,
extremes.
it's
And,
not
obviously,
extreme.
if you're not prepping for a competition, you get to dictate what you look like, how lean you
Yeah.
want to be, where you want your muscle, like what you want your body shape to look like, and we help you deliver that. Obviously, if you're competing, then we're probably a bit more hands-on in making sure that you deliver what you need to as per the federation's requirements. But like, other than that, it's as much or as little as you want it to be, depending on what your goal is. But
Such a big thing as well. There's like even 2 days ago, I had, or whenever it was, I had one of my girls. She's getting ready for a holiday, and I have to keep touching base, going like, rather than it being an aesthetic thing to a degree, because it's her body, it's how she feels. I'm like, have you tried on your holiday clothes? How do you feel? How much do you like, the rate of loss that we're going at the minute? How confident are you? Because it's not for me to dictate she needs to look a certain
yeah,
way. It's how she feels in herself. And that's different from the bodybuilding, where we're like, you've got a criteria, you need to be muscular, leanness, whatever. But if it's a holiday, a wedding, just generally you want to feel good for summer, that's where it's such a
yeah,
big thing that you need to work with a coach that's a team, because
yeah,
it is your body. It's how you feel. How you might feel in one composition might be so different from what another girl might feel in theirs. And then it's making sure we're here to get you there, give you that
yeah,
accountability, give you that plan. But we're not here to be like, you're going to look amazing at this weight, or you're going to look amazing when you look like this. It's like,
yeah,
when are you going to feel amazing? And then we'll get you there. And
yeah.
that, again, is where it can be a little bit more lenient with the plan, because it's like you're going, I want to feel like this or look like this, but I don't know how to. And then that's when we step in and make that happen.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think just going back to like me and what I'm kind of thinking I want to do. Like this year, I'm taking a little bit of a more relaxed approach to this year. It's the last year of my 30s. So, I am still training and eating and doing all of that stuff. It's the lifestyle that I've built up over the last 8 years. But, I'm being a bit more relaxed. If I want to go on holidays, I'm going on holidays, and still making sure that my clients get the focus that they want. But I have learned, because I've been coaching myself for the last 7 months, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I've learned that I can coach myself through a build phase, but I'm not great at dieting myself. The cookie monster in me wins every time. It's like Coach Jody goes, we need more cardio, and then client Jody goes, but cookies look great, and the cookies win every time, right? So like, I know what I need to do, but I don't want to do it. So I've decided that it's probably time I recruited a coach,
Hmm.
and I am gonna be signing up with a different coach. I was coached by Josh for 8 years, and he was amazing, and I achieved everything that I did under his guidance. But I think I've realised as well that with me kind of venturing into my own world with my coaching brand, that I'd like to maybe learn something new from someone else and just be under someone else's guidance for a bit, see if they do things differently and if there's anything that I can take from that I can apply to myself and my clients. But yeah, I've got some photo shoots planned this year. Um, so, I'll probably be pulling back and getting leanish for those. I'm not planning on touching stage lean this year. So before anyone starts going, it's a secret prep, it's like,
Turn into a secret
no,
squirrel.
it is not a secret prep. Like, I have no desire to get on stage, but yeah, I've probably rambled a lot. But yeah, ultimately, business is the focus, clients are the focus, and just having a more relaxed year that gives me a bit of a mental break from the 8 years that I've kind of dedicated to that bodybuilder lifestyle and mindset so that I can move forward more productively, because I have got improvements that I want to make to my physique, and things that I want to achieve. I do accept, and this is, I guess, a conversation, slightly separate conversation, but I think that obviously I'm Pro Masters Bikini for PCA. I'm not trying to chase the IFBB Pro card. That's never been my dream. I started with PCA, and when I got my PCA Pro card, that was what I wanted. I think if I look at what is awarded in Pro Masters for PCA, I acknowledge that one, I don't have the best structure for bikini. I don't, and this is me speaking, I'm not being down on myself before anyone
Yeah.
starts jumping on
I
here
think that's
going,
being
I'm,
realistic and subjective. It's like I
yeah,
said, I'm not getting to like yeah, hype yourself up, but also be realistic with where you stand.
yeah. Yeah, I
So,
mean, like, I know, I'm a pro, I'm a coach, I judge for PCA, I know what it takes to be a top level bikini competitor. And I know that in the right lineup I can do well, and a lot of that is kind of leaning more towards my muscularity and how lean I'm able to get. It is in no way, shape or form determined by my structure. Like, I
yeah,
don't have a particularly wide clavicle. My clavicle probably only looks as wide as it does because I have some delts on the end of
yeah,
I don't have the smallest waist. I don't have an exaggerated X frame from the front. I don't have an exaggerated S curve from the side, but I do have a lot of muscle.
yeah,
But I think that now we're at pro level, I have to accept as well. I would have a lot of muscle as an amateur. If you put me back as an amateur, I would definitely be bikini trained. But compared to the Pro Masters girls, like when I did Worlds, I was on the smaller end, and I'm kind of sat in that place now where it's like, do I want to build that level of muscle to be competitive as a Pro
yeah,
Masters competitor and to really take me there? Or am I kind of content just continuing to improve my physique, but maybe accepting that I might not be a constant first call out competitor? So yeah, that's something that I have to consider. It's, if I do compete, I fully accept that I might not always be in that first call out. I might not always be in those top 3 placings, and I think that there does come a level of consideration as a competitor where it's like, are you willing to take it to where it needs to go to get to where
yeah.
you need to be? And
Yeah, I
yeah,
absolutely get that. Like it's if with my physique, like I know I love PCA through and through, but again, I will be masters next year, and I don't have the structure, so I would have to build muscle. But I know I've touched on before my new training plan right now does I will have upper back, but I don't have it at the minute, and I'm fine with that because you want to make sure that competing aligns with the physique you actually want. I know you're not going to be walking around stage lean all the time, but if you've got to go through phases where you have to build muscle, like I already fought, like at my sister's wedding in a bridesmaid's dress, I don't like my upper body when I'm lean. I'm just feel, and I'm 5 foot, so I grow out. I don't grow up. Like, we established this on the stage as well. Like, all those girls are so much younger than me, and I'm like belly button height to them all. So I have to get even denser to make an impact. And I personally, right now, like, I love PCA. I'm all for it, and like my front and back are quite strong to a degree. But to stand out more, I have to get denser, and I just don't personally want to right now. So
Yeah.
I do think obviously you're entering a very genetic based sport. So you need to then go, firstly, what are my genetics like? What is my rate of growth like? Am I enjoying the process? And then definitely touching on what you said before about like the right environment as well. Like, I've had girls before, like, stress kills prep. It really does. So if you are not mentally, physically, environmentally in a good spot, if your body isn't losing and you feel like you don't have to ever do anything, the stage is always going to be there. And I've had it with a few girls before where they've pushed and pushed and pushed, their body isn't responding, they're on low calories, and we've had to have that talk. And literally, it's a horrible. You put so much pressure on yourself to say I'm not prepping this year, but actually you feel so much better when you don't do it. Like, my first, same as you, my first prep was the naivety. Like, it was hard because you've not done it before. Like, I used to eat all the cookies at the vets, to then not eat all the cookies. I'm like, this sucks. But you kind of just do it. But then my second prep was a 10-month prep, and that was brutal because I was not ready until the
Been
end.
there.
And yeah, and that's the thing. So then you learn a lot through that graft, and it's fucking hard. But that ruined my health. I reversed terribly. I tried to do a mini cut for a holiday. My body was like, nope, not happening. Then I forced a prep anyway because I'm stupid and I was young. Ruined my health even more. Horrible. Then obviously again off the back end, reversed terribly. Then obviously same as you, have to take time out. You have to look after your health, because why are you just repeating that negative cycle? And then when I did prep again, when I was mentally ready and physically ready, one of the best, well, to that date, the best prep I'd ever done.
Yeah.
And stress is like, your bloods could be fine, and you could be like, I'm fine, stress isn't there. But if you are genuinely not dropping and you should be in a deficit, there's something. There really is
Yeah.
something. Stop putting pressure on yourself to get to the stage, because
Yeah.
you're making it so much. It's hard enough. You can make it so much more unenjoyable by forcing it.
Yeah.
So
I genuinely think that, like, just because you want to doesn't mean you should.
yeah,
And like, I think that there's so many things to consider other than what you want.
yeah.
Um,
Just
and
because it's the right time, but it's not. You're not losing, so it's not the right time.
and as well, like, I've taken 2 long off seasons in the middle of my journey, and I can honestly say that I made the most progress in the years that I was away from a calorie deficit. And the longer that I stayed away from a calorie deficit, the better I got. So, you know, I always say to my clients, I'm like, look, as a coach, if you want to compete every year, I'll put you on stage every year. It's fine. It's not a problem. But you also have to accept that there's limitations with that. Like, if you want to look the same every time you get on stage, you compete every year. But
Yeah,
the definition of insanity is repeating
yeah,
the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if you compete every year with the same physique and expect to get better results, it's a little bit
yeah.
crazy.
Especially,
So
you've
yes,
got to think you're reversing. You need to think. Everyone's like, oh, but I built so much muscle back after a month. No, you
you
filled
just
out
put
again.
back on.
Yeah, you literally just feel you've maybe gained a little bit of muscle that you lost,
Yeah.
and then to think like, if you compete in September and you're going to go again in September the following year, you probably only actually have health about a month or two by the time
Oh
you've
yeah,
and go back into a prep. So bear that in
easy.
mind. You might think, oh, I finished in September and I'm starting prep in like June. No. So
No.
of course, Olympians can make adjustments in a short time frame because they're there, they're ready, they're tweaking. But for us, we want to make changes. Like, give yourself enough time to recover and
Yeah.
recover properly. Don't just like go balls to the
But
wall and be like, oh God.
but it's funny, like I have, and we will get on to the other questions, by the way. We're just having a good old ramble. I've recently been thinking about what I want for myself beyond competing. I don't know if you've ever had those thoughts with yourself, but
Oh
like,
yeah,
because I know that I won't compete forever, and I think that, like, everyone knows that there's a shelf life when it comes to
yeah,
competing. Like, you can be a bodybuilder forever, but competing doesn't last forever. And I think, like, you know, I'm excited for when I get to take the reins in terms of what I want to do with my own body. Like, because realistically, I know that if I took the reins off and just let my body grow how I would want it to, I would probably look more like an American track runner, like where it's like that athletic look that's a little bit lower body dominant, like thick thighs, but like not wellness. Like I would be somewhere between bikini and wellness.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would like for general day to day. Like I've always wanted to build thicker thighs and a big booty, but I also understand at the same time that if I do that, I'll make myself uncompetitive for bikini. So it's kind of like, I think I'd be a way off putting myself at risk of that. But long term, there does come a point where it's like, okay, is the body that I'm building for competing even the body that I want for myself anymore? And there is bodybuilding beyond putting it on stage. It's just the motivation is different. You're doing it for what you want it for rather than what the stage wants it for.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like if I'm very fortunate that what I compete for is actually what aligns with how I want to look.
Yes.
If I was to free rein it and say I didn't, or I lacked, like I said, the training I do right now is training I enjoy. So I don't think, but if I was getting on stage, my training wouldn't change. I would have pulled out upper and I would just be fucking hammering my lower body. So I'm very fortunate that aligns right now. Yeah. But if I was to just be like, bodybuilding's done, I might I'll eat kind of sensibly, but eat what I want. I would very quickly look like a strong man because I'm so little. I grow out very quickly. So I do always have to keep up training and be very aware of my calories. Because we can quickly undo stuff. And when you're little, I turn into a tire. But like I said, I'm very fortunate that actually like what I want to achieve physically and aesthetically actually aligns with the route I'm going down bodybuilder wise. But would I go, obviously when I back off and I'm not getting on stage, would I go so aggressively? Probably not, because I want to, as far as my body allows, I will keep going, but I will always listen to my body. And I think that's a big thing as well. But in the last few preps I've done, I have an idea of what I want to do. I know what shows I want to do, but I don't say a lot because I'm like, let's just start it. Bloods are fine. I feel fine. But you know what? Let my body decide. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They go, right, I've booked this show and I'm in.
Committed,
And then things don't sink out. So the last few preps I've done, the last 2, 3, I've gone, right, start a deficit, get the ball rolling. If my body wants to respond, we're rolling. We'll go when we go. If not, I'm not, I haven't aligned anything. I reverse out and I just get back to it. And I truly believe that mindset has been one of the key indicators why I've had such a good prep, because I've just been like, let's go and see what happens. You'll be the decider.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going next year, and I've already planned things, and that's the first time I've planned things as well. So I swear to God, if my body decides, no, obviously I'll never force things, but
you can. So the way I've kind of done it is I stopped. Probably 2020 was the last time I did the 3 weeks out updates. Do you know what I mean? 5 weeks out, 3 weeks out. Now ever since 2022, which was the year that I got my pro card, I just started prep and was like, prep week 1.
Yeah.
And I had an idea of what shows I wanted to do, but I never publicly committed or announced them until, let's say, I was within a month of doing them and I was sure that I was locking in on them. I kept the goal fluid. So I was like, this is what I'm aiming for. And in an ideal situation, this is the show that I want to do. But if it needs to move because I need more time, or if it needs to move because I'm ready early, we move it.
That's the biggest thing. I get so many girls, especially first timers. Trust me, I was there, where they're like, right, what can I book? What can I sign up for? I'm like, oh my God.
Or they book the show before they tell you.
Yeah. Book accommodation as free cancellation. That's all I'm saying. Or book the membership if you want, but don't book the show because ultimately venues change, dates change. You might not be ready. You might be ready early. Like you put so much pressure on yourself, and then the amount of times girls have been. Remember, even though you've paid for it, if you're not happy, don't get on stage. They just
Yeah,
don't because
it's not
you're
worth
then going
it.
to be. It's going to leave such a sour taste in your mouth. Like get on stage when you're ready and stop
Yeah,
buying everything in advance because
yeah,
that puts
no.
more pressure on you.
Your first stage experience, believe it or not, in my opinion, is the most important because it sets the tone for whether or not you will do it again. If you
Yeah.
have a terrible first experience, you won't want to do it again. The only thing I will say makes it difficult when it comes to first timers, and I do kind of get it, is how quickly they fill up. So it's like, like first timers 5, which is the one in September, has been
Oh my
full
God, it's
since like
yeah,
March.
it's
So it's
such a
like,
popular show.
so I kind of get it in a sense of some people being keen because they want to do that show and they don't want to miss out on an opportunity
Yeah.
to register for it. Like I get that. But if you're not locking in for a show that's kind of books out
Or you
really
don't want the
quickly.
pressure, just don't do that show.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
do a
yeah.
show that isn't going to sell out. And BC are
100%.
good at giving you like a heads up with things anyway. Like wait until like the master show is fully booked now, but they gave you enough notice, like 50%, 80%, 90%, like then book it.
Yeah,
But
100%. But no, outside of that, general life. Gee, I'm maybe considering dipping my toe in the dating pool.
oh,
I,
oh,
I I teeter on the edge of it for ages, and I'm like, but I've
oh,
seen this guy on Instagram that rates people's Hinge profiles, and I'm like, I don't want to be one of them. Like, please don't let this man find
could
me.
you find people on Hinge and then take screenshots and be like, can you rate this one for me so I know if it's any good or not?
What he does is he rates what they say, and I get it. Like a lot of what he's saying is that, and I get it. The women do not like him, right? But a lot of what he's saying is that women want to find dates, but they can come across quite aggressive on Hinge, where they're basically like, it's basically that men ain't shit kind of
Yeah.
attitude, and you can see it in what they're writing. So he's basically kind of offering advice, being like, yeah, maybe don't come at this like this. But the ladies are taking offense. But yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe we'll try dating this year, who
Stay
knows.
tuned for updates, people. Like and
We'll start
subscribe.
rating some Hinge profiles on here.
Interesting comment.
Second segment.
Right, so next question. So this kind of leads on to obviously how we started and stuff. So this is more just of a me question in the sense of how did you come up with GMT? What made you want to do it and go for it? Were you nervous? So it was actually Matt. So I'm not like a I'm very, especially coming from Cornwall. You get anyone from Cornwall will get this. You're kind of in a bubble when you don't think that well there's a world bigger than that. So being a vet nurse, I thought that was going to be my life. COVID happened. GMT actually weirdly stands for Georgia Matt Transformations, even though no one actually
Does
knows.
it? I didn't know that.
But that's because when we first started, it was like lifestyle people. We didn't really know what to call it, and we were like, let's just do that, and then it just kind of stuck. So it was Matt that was like, why don't we start coaching? And I was like, oh my God, no, I can't. I'm nursing. So I was actually doing night shifts. I would do like 4 on, 3 off. And then because I have to keep doing something, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do like nutrition courses and then like diplomas and things, and I'll get my head around it. Then it just kind of started from there. And I remember at the time, I couldn't even afford a laptop. So my mum lent me like 200 quid for like a really basic laptop. So I could start doing all these kind of things. And then then it just kind of got from there. So yeah, we went right through business ideas, and then because we were both working from home, whenever I came home from my night shifts, and then yeah, were we nervous? Absolutely, because it's the unknown, isn't it? And when Matt's like, we could go self-employed, and I'm like, the insecurity of being self-employed. So again, Cornwall, I just have an employer, let me get paid. But if it wasn't for him being so open-minded about stuff, Like, trust me, he's come up with some ideas that have not been the best.
Matt is the ideas man, though, isn't he?
He's the ideas guy, and I'll always say yes because I'm never going to poo-poo an idea. But some of them we've learned a lot from, and some of them have really helped us grow. Like, we did supplements at one point for like years ago. We had like, yeah, supplements. Oh my God, don't do it. So just stick with like people that are Robbie and stuff. But yeah, if you don't, I always had the logic that I'm never gonna like dull Matt Sparkle because he is the ideas guy, and then I would just have in my head the KFC guy was like 60 when he did KFC, and it only took one idea. So I was like, you have the ideas, I'll back you. Some work, some don't. We've had a lot. There's been more that hasn't worked than have worked, but we've always loved the coaching. So I do feel like if you don't push yourself out your comfort zone, it's better to say, oh, well, then what if? Remember that saying? So otherwise you're always going to just be like, oh, I could have done that. Or if only I did that. Like, it's the stepping on stage for the first time. Like, if it wasn't for Matt backing me, I would have never got on stage and we wouldn't be where we are now. And my logic was, worst comes to worst, I don't enjoy it, or something goes wrong. Like, nothing's really going to go wrong because everything you're going to learn from it. So yeah, quick fire. That is it. We were nervous. We made sure we were building up enough, took the leap. I went self-employed first, and then it was Matt, and then we just kind of kept the ball rolling from there. And we've had, when we were growing, we had times where, we were struggling a bit, and we would just, take up, if you're starting coaching or starting anything that's self-employed, be open that if you need to take on other jobs, do it to keep yourself going. Don't go back, never go backwards. Just keep yourself going forward. So cleaning jobs, whatever we did dog walking because I fucking love that. I love dog work. I'm going to do that in my 80s. When coaching's gone, I'm going to be like going around to everyone's house to keep me moving because I just have to keep moving. I'm like, I'll walk your dog. Give me a dog.
I love that. But what was the wording on the question again?
How did you come up with GMT and what made you want to do it and go for it? Were you nervous? Were you nervous when you started your coaching?
Well, my starting with coaching was a little bit different, and it probably actually ties into a question that I got around. I
like that you're looping these up.
Yeah, no. So one of the questions that I got, and obviously we can come back to you on this, was advice on how to get into online coaching, particularly alongside a 9 to 5. So when I started Team Jodie D, because I did have my own coaching brand before I joined CJM. So I had Team Jodie D, then I did CJM, then I went back to Team Jodie D. And I started that probably 2 years into my bodybuilding journey after I'd kind of had a foundation of putting myself through the process a few times, learning enough that I felt like I could help a few people. And then I literally started off coaching my sister, my brother-in-law, and one of my best friends for free. Like that was literally what I did initially. And more of that was to just, one, prove to myself that I could do it. To build up my systems and my structures and how I wanted my coaching to work. And 3, also be able to get some results that I could...
Proof and evidence.
Yeah. But what I will say straight off the bat, and if my sister and my brother-in-law and my best friend are listening to this, don't ever offer coaching to anyone for free because they won't do anything with it. So one thing I learned very quickly, straight off the bat, is whilst offering people coaching for free is a great idea to prove to yourself that you can do it, it's the biggest confidence knocker in the world, because if they don't pay nothing, they don't value it and they don't do shit with it. So don't do that. If you're gonna start coaching people, at least take a little bit of money from them, right? Like, even if it's 50 quid, right? Don't ever do it for free, because I coached my mum as well, and to be fair, my mum did really good. So well done, mum. But everyone else was terrible.
Yeah, me and Matt have found that with family as well. So, like, the only person who, she is the OG to this day, was my sister, because she was really overweight in lockdown, not happy, and she's still on the team. She is like representing GMT. But we've helped family, and then they go, the plan doesn't work, but they don't value it because they've got it for free, so they don't follow it. Whereas, definitely back that.
So it sounds cheeky to be charging for something that you don't know you can do, but you won't know that you can do it if people don't invest in it. So you it's like a chicken and egg situation. Charge. If you're doing it for free, charge
And
them
just make
something.
the point, you're just doing it so you can say, I just want you to know you're serious. So you're investing
Yes.
on them. You're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. Other coaches charge this, this, and this. I'm going to give you my best, but you
Yeah.
need to make sure that you're investing in yourself and
100%.
you can take that seriously.
Yeah, so when I started doing that, I was working a full-time job, 9 to 5. Like, I come from a background in corporate insurance, you know, like, and the job that I had wasn't even typically a 9 to 5. Like, sometimes I'd be driving up and down the country and all of this stuff. So, like, it was a Monday to Friday, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was a typical 9 to 5. So I just decided that like I was going to offer or open up a few coaching spaces that I would just do on the weekends. So it was like, right. And to be fair, it wasn't even both weekend days. It was like, right, my clients would check in on a Sunday. I had like 5 to 10 clients that I was charging. They all checked in on a Sunday, responded to them all on a Sunday. Obviously, like as a coach, you keep yourself available the rest of the week in case they need you. But it was like everyone checks in on a Sunday, which meant it didn't conflict with what I was trying to do in my 9 to 5 job. And I could kind of keep the two separate. And I kind of saw it as earning a little bit of pocket money. Like I wasn't reliant on coaching to keep me afloat, but it gave me a bit extra to do some stuff and also gain some experience in what I wanted to do. And then 2022 was the year that I got my pro card, and conveniently, I say conveniently because it was happy times for me. Just before I turned pro, this was probably like the week before I turned pro, we were all, and bear in mind, I did my insurance job for like 16 years. We all got dragged into a meeting and told that we were at risk of redundancy, right? So obviously not what you need at 1 week out from what is probably the biggest show of your life. However, I was like, this could be brilliant. I don't want to do this job. I'd love to move into coaching, and if I get made redundant, I'm going to get a nice big payout that will keep me going for a bit. So I literally remember saying to my manager, can I opt for voluntary? Because we would have had to have all gone through an interview process to secure our jobs. And I was like, well, what's the point in putting me through this if I don't even want to stay? So I was like, can I take voluntary? They let me take voluntary. And then I had to work out my notice, which was like 3 months. And then I spoke to Josh, and Josh was like, I'd love you to come on the team as a coach. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a month off from just working. And then I'll join full-time with CJM. And then obviously I had the buffer of a redundancy payment to kind of offset the initial hard part of coaching, because the hard part of coaching is generating your initial client base to a point where you're going to earn enough money that can keep you afloat. Now, you might know better than me, but I think that that's the problem that people have, is building their client base up big enough that they feel like they can leave a full-time job and still have enough money, but without overwhelming themselves of doing almost 2 full-time jobs at the same time. So I think part of me would be inclined to say, like, treat the coaching that you're doing on the side of your 9 to 5 as like bankable money, like money that you can put in savings to give yourself that buffer, like what I had as my redundancy payment. And when you've kind of got to a point where you've got enough clients, but you've also got enough money in the bank that you could keep going without being reliant on having a full client base straight away, that might help.
Well, I'm going to plug something here. And Matt is doing a business builder mentorship. So he's not long started. Basically, because we did 2 different business mentors. One when we first started, and one quite a few years ago now. So because we've been doing this a long time. The first one was helpful, but fuck me, like if you are serious about it and you've looked into business mentors, they're expensive. And if you are trying to do this and you're trying to start up and you've got your normal job and you're at where to start, like it's so expensive. So Matt has just started this business mentorship, and he is like 4 or 5 weeks in now. He's taken on a very small client base because he literally loves that side of things, and he's doing it so much cheaper than a normal one because he just genuinely enjoys it. So if you are interested, he genuinely goes through the process of like what obviously we've learned from business mentors, but what we've learned along our way. And he does have that sales background. So that is something that is 100%, if you are serious about it, it is literally so much cheaper. And he does weekly things. He gets you to still do check-ins. He gives you all the slides. He gives you advice. He's on hand. So yeah, I wish we had him when we first started, because yeah, we were a little bit opposite. We had to wait until like I was earning enough that was replacing my wage, and then I could go. So I was doing it on the side, and then just building it up that he could. But yeah, like what he's doing at the minute, like so far, like he talks about it on his stories as well. So if this is a plug, but if you want more information, I will put me
I promise you guys this was not planned.
Yeah, well done. But like he's absolutely smashing it, and the people on his team so far are smashing it as well. And it's really fucking great to see, because it's that saying goes, you'll never get criticised by anyone doing less than you.
Yeah,
so when you're around the right people, they're just, because there's room for everyone to win, but there is like, it is a saturated market, and don't try and be anyone else, like be you, and then just you'll find it. It's fucking hard work. You've got to like keep going for it, and you've got to accept that there's no 9 to 5, like it is constant hours, but if you really want to do it, then
I think that's the thing. If you are looking to move into full-time coaching and you're not like fresh out of school, where this is like you're just doing a new job, you've got to be prepared for the fact that it's going to be a bit of graft initially, and you're probably going to have to work longer hours than you would like to. You're probably going to be working more days than you want to, but it's short-term pain for the long-term. The long-term goal. And I think as well, like one of the best things that I would say is invest in things that are gonna help make you a more valuable coach. So education, I think, is key, rather than just guesswork. Because guesswork's only going to take you so far. But anyway, that's enough rambling about that.
I was getting mine up, so did you say you had one that leads on to that?
Well, I had one that tied in with what you're saying, so I can either pick another one of mine, or you can go if you want to.
There you go on.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this one, and
what is it?
No, it's just that my viewpoint on this might not be liked by people, or maybe even the person that's written this. But I'll see what you think first. Okay. So the question is, do you think the industry / social media / cookie stalls, I mean, I love a cookie, takes first timer mindset to what they eat post show rather than focus on the show itself?
So interestingly, I do have a question that says, best tips for first timers. I'm competing end of the year, and post show is hard, and I'm worried about it. Okay. So we're bashing two together here. Okay. So you go on in. It's your question. What's your thoughts?
Right. Okay. So I think that I'm laughing because, like, I think that maybe most people would be expecting me to say something along the lines of, yeah, like, it's not great, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But, like, the way I see life in general is there's two different types of discipline, right? So there's discipline as in a sense of you can put yourself in the proximity of the thing that you're tempted by and not be influenced by it, right? Or you can know that it's too tempting for you and remove yourself from it, right? That both of those take discipline. Like, I don't care what anyone says. When people say, oh, it's not discipline if you have to remove yourself from it, I disagree with that. That's knowing yourself and knowing that you shouldn't be around it. So, like, if I take it away from bodybuilding completely and I go, right, okay, you take a man and a room full of women, and there's temptation there. You know, he's in a relationship and there's lots of beautiful women around. I mean, it could be vice versa. This isn't a man-hating thing. I'm all for the men. Could be room full of men, right? But for the sake of this argument, there's a man in a relationship in a room full of women. Now, a disciplined man could be in that room and know what is or isn't appropriate in terms of, like, how he acts around these women. Or if it's too tempting, just remove yourself from the room of women. What I can't get on board with is people blaming the thing that they're tempted by rather than accepting that they have a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
So I guess where I'm going with that is it's not the thing that you're influenced by that's the problem. It's the fact that you're influenced by it that's the problem. So for me, it's like, okay, if you know what your mindset needs to be post-show in terms of how you need to approach it, or if you know what your mindset needs to be in terms of how you apply yourself on stage and your focus being there, whether or not there's cookies around you shouldn't be a problem. Like, stay focused on the job, what you need to do. You know what you need to do. So cookies being in the room shouldn't be a problem, or if they are, stay away from them. Like, I think blaming something for being in your proximity says a lack of discipline rather than it actually being a problem.
So
that's just it's kind of like if an influencer told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it?
No, I back exactly what you're saying. So basically, I'm going to go off on a couple different tangents here. First and foremost, as a first timer, don't fucking hoard food. You're asking to live.
Agree.
Stop it. The food is going to be there. If you're walking in the shops and you're looking at all the cookies, it's not going to go anywhere. Don't buy it. Don't put it under your bed. Don't have it. You're going to eat it. Trust me, been there, done it. It happens.
You won't even want it when it comes to post-show, but you will eat it because it's there.
You will eat it because it's there. You'll eat because you feel like you eat and eat and eat because you're never going to feel full, and then you suddenly feel sick, then you feel shit, and then you've got a negative cycle. So firstly, don't. The food is going to be there. Wait to see what you think afterwards. If you want that dopamine hit of buying something, what I used to do, I'm loads better now. What I used to do though is I would go to like cookie websites or whatever, and most of them, the good ones, you can select a date for it to be sent.
Yeah.
If I wanted the dopamine hit of ordering a cookie while I'm deep into prep, I would order it for like a week post show, and then if I was like I wanted to order a cake, 2 weeks post show. So it's not in the house, and my trigger was spreads. So even peanut butter, what a waste of fucking calories. But I knew that if it's open, like a packet, if it's not open, fine. Like a packet of Oreos, like I fucking we both can put food away. But it's knowing that, do you know what, my trigger was peanut butter. So I would remove it, like you said, my discipline, 100% on prep. But post-show, because the goal is removed, I'm way better now. I don't have to remove peanut butter. But this is talking as a first timer.
Yeah.
I established in my first time, I would tuck in with a fucking spoon, and before you know it, red mist, peanut butter's gone. So second prep, removed, I binned all of my peanut butter. I'd have to get fats from elsewhere, because I'm not going to binge on fucking eggs, like, fucking hell. So I would bin all the peanut butter until I was more level-headed, bring it back.
Yes.
Like you said, you remove that thing. It's not lack of discipline, it's lack of and I would go to the shops, if I fancied something, like I've got the most outrageous sweet tooth. Mm-hmm. If I fancied something and I bought, like, if there was new flavoured Oreos out, I would buy the pack of Oreos, and this might seem wasteful, but again, this to me was discipline. This was catering to what I wanted, so I didn't restrict. I would account for like 4 Oreos, and then I would bin the rest, the rest to Matt. Yes, it's wasteful, but that's how I managed a lot better mindset, because it's either binge or don't have it, and then it's literally on my mind until I eat it.
So I agree with your mindset completely. Like I'm like that in a sense of, if I buy a packet of something and I like it, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna smash the whole thing, right? But like, if I don't,
that comes with growth as well. You are accepting that you're going to eat that, and you're not going to have a negative cycle post show. But if you binge, you have that negative cycle.
But like, genuinely, if I buy something and I'm not that arsed about it, like you had those cream egg Oreos, right? Now, at the show at Universe, and you offered me one, right? I wasn't going to tell you that I'd already tried them and I didn't think much of them, because that was your experience. So for me, I was like, I didn't want to piss all over your flames, right? But it's like, I could have quite easily just eaten one for the sake of it, but I was like, I know I don't like them, so there's no point. I just say no. But I think that like you were just alluding to, it's like, for me, I know that post-show, I know I have a food, like I love food. I know I'm going to go a bit nuts for a few days, but I just accept what comes as a response to that. I've learned over the years that I get bored after a few days. a lot of it is just about knowing yourself and managing your response to different things. And if you can't control yourself around things, remove them or remove yourself. Like it's, I feel like
so that was my next point that I was going to get onto. The worst thing you can do is eat and then get shitty at yourself for eating. Like we are the most understanding people because we love food. But I'm gonna be real with you. No one is forcing that food in your mouth. So if you're going to not take ownership, if you eat it, like you are post-show, you eat it, you own it, you know it's a phase. Like I know I know I went back into prep, but my first post-show, I did go on a rampage with food, but it was all foods that I eat. I just was making oats into a cake, or I was because I got quite restrictive towards the end just because of digestion. I was like, I made a carrot cake out of oats. So I'm like, I'm going to put carrot in. So like mine was a bit different potion because we know I can control things. So it might not be exciting to some, but so many people love that you can actually, it's not one or the other. You don't have to be dead on it and then you feel restricted, but then you don't have to binge and feel shit. Like take ownership of what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you feel like shit, sort it out, because there's nothing worse as a coach. We can be there for you, but we can't just constantly slap the food out your mouth. Like you need
I
to
always
take ownership on your decisions.
It is. Look, we're talking from positions of experience, so we have the background. We know ourselves well enough to know how we're going to respond. Like, let's face it, we've fucked it up at least once. So if you're a first timer and you fuck it up, that's okay. But just understand that it's a mistake the first time. If you repeat it, it's a choice, right? Yeah. So it's like, if you keep fucking up,
especially if you didn't want to do that the second time. If you felt shit the first time and you go, that's not going to happen again, but you hoard food and and if you are at the back end of your prep and all you're doing is thinking about food and not the stage, why have you done 16, 20 weeks for you to get I get it because you want food, but that's the sole wrong reason. That stepping on stage is not a reason to binge. Yeah. So if you start thinking about food too much, just stop, like, because it is not worth your mental and physical health to get on stage in a sparkly bikini for a trophy and then ruin, because that's when people have relationship issues with food, then they blame bodybuilding. But it's because you've done it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, genuinely, like I said, I've been there, right? Like I've
been like 15 years above stage weight. Like remember, I'm short.
I think my first year, and I was mid-season, bear in mind, like I had my second show. Josh let me have an off-plan meal and I hoarded. When I say my cupboards were full, mate. You know we love our American treats. I spent hundreds of pounds on American treats, right? I ate 6,500 calories in 40 minutes, right? Because
if you eat quick, your body will not, you'll feel it afterwards, but if you're eating quick, your body's not adjusting.
I was eating chocolate until I felt sick, and then I was going through a 6-pack bag of crisps to offset the sweetness, and then I was okay to go again, so I was just smashing chocolate bars, and I was crying, and I remember messaging Josh, and I said to him, I was like, I don't think I can do this, like I can't stop eating, and he literally just messaged me back with one line that changed my life and my relationship with food afterwards. He was like, you can stop, you just don't want to.
Yep.
Right. And as soon as I took accountability and responsibility for it and realised that I was tired of my own shit and I didn't have to feel like that, I stopped. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have my moments post-show where I'm like, I'm going to get it out of my system. But I also know that it's within my control to stop it when I want to stop it. And if I'm not stopping it, anything that happens as a result of that is on me. And if I'm not happy with it, I need to accept it, but I also need to move forward differently. Like, I can't do what I do and complain about the result of what I chose to do. Like, I either have to sit in it and deal with it, or I have to change how I'm moving. And it's like, you have to show post-show the same respect that you show prep. If you can show discipline because you're about to get on stage in a sparkly bikini and you know that requires discipline to be your best, have respect for the fact that your body needs you to have that discipline post-show to be its best. Like, you being healthy mentally and physically post-show is far more important than you being your best on stage in a sparkly bikini. So if you can do it for that, you can do it for the rest.
I always say, like, try and see prep, which everyone says, but as a first time you don't know. If your date, whatever, is your show date, see prep as 4 weeks longer. And the thing is, especially as a first timer, you're not going to be surrounded most likely with people that get it. So you need to explain to people, because they're like, you can eat now, let's do this, let's do that.
Yeah.
For the love of God, don't plan, and just because the show's done, don't plan all your social occasions, because that's what's going to fuck you. Think, like you said, that your health needs, you've asked, especially as a female, you've asked a fucking lot of your body to get that lean, but then you're upset when you go to town on it, and your body's now, you've got night sweats and you have water retention. And
the night sweats.
Like, oh, you're 2 months post-show and you're like, I need to diet again. Your body's not going to diet again. Like, you have one body, like, give it that respect. Like, see it like, extreme version, an alcoholic, you're expecting that liver to constantly regenerate. Like, your whole body needs to be looked after. So, we want that to be in such a positive light, and do accept that no, especially the first time, and no one is perfect.
No.
And it is fucking hard, and do talk to your coach. But also, take that ownership. How have your actions been? What are you going to do differently if you're not liking what's happening? And no, it doesn't fucking last. Like, time will pass.
Yeah.
If you finish your show in September, by like November, if you can keep that accountability, you'll be smooth sailing, and you'll be like, fucking hell, I got through that.
I put 10 kilos on in 3 weeks post-show, my last show, right? Like, I just lost my mind. But I also didn't mind putting on 10 kilos. Like, I wasn't saying to myself, because obviously I was coaching myself at that point, we need to diet. I was like, look, I've put 10 kilos on. I just need to sit in it and deal with it and let my body just recover and do what it needs to do. But chances are high. The reason we're so strict on you as first timers, guys, is because we know that you don't know how quick it goes to shit. We know that you think you're going to be okay with it until you're not okay with it, right? So the kindest thing that you can do to yourself is I can't speak for G, but I'm pretty sure she's going to say the same thing. I do not expect any of my first timers to be 100% on plan, 100% of the time post-show. I do expect that you're going to be like, oh, I had a handful of sweets here, or I had whatever it is you did, right? Like, but we're always going to try to encourage you to stick to plan as close as possible, because that consistency is what's going to put you in the best position to regain a balanced body as quickly as possible, which is going to stop you feeling the extreme hunger. It's going to help your body feel better. It's going to help you recover better and quicker. The more inconsistent you are, the longer all of that takes, which means you drag out all the terrible feelings for much longer. So the more consistent you can be, the better that's going to be. And it also means you get to keep hold of your body looking better for longer, because post-show, you're going to be a little bit of a watery mess initially. Like, no matter how well you handle it, your body's been stressed for a really long time. You suddenly change direction in terms of what you're doing, and your body goes, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Are we doing this or are we not? And it kind of just goes into this protective bubble of, I call it my potato phase, right? But like your wateriness, But you minimize that the more consistent you are and the more disciplined you are. So like, you know, even like G said, the first 4 weeks, I normally say to my clients, the first 4 to 8 weeks can be a little bit rocky. But the more respect you show your body, the quicker you're going to get out of that painful period.
And that just comes with the more times you do it as well. So as we said, we never expect you to nail it first off the gate. We want you to make sure that you just don't hate it enough that you then go the other way and go, I'm never doing it again.
Yes.
Because ultimately, like, especially if you chuck an off plan with loads of alcohol, like, you are asking to be a mess, and like, it can really affect people's mental health. So you've got to respect your relationship with yourself and relationship with food. So
100%.
You can do it. But always here if you need to chat to any of us.
Always. I mean, we probably sound dead militant and passionate about it, but we both come from a position of having fucked it up, and I can say I probably fucked it up every year. I never say I fucked it up, because I own everything that I do.
That's the
so
thing.
for me, it's
like,
like,
you think about it.
Yeah, if I've gone heavy on the food, it was not a mistake, it was a choice.
Yeah.
I own that.
Yeah.
But I also look back and I'm like, I probably could have handled that a little bit better. Do you know what I mean?
Like, how do you want to be in a few months' time? If you're 10, 20 kilos up, are you going to be fine with that? If you are,
Yeah.
fine. If you're not, then, think about the actions. And every day, I always say to my girls, if you've had a fuck up, like every day is a new day. Like
Yeah.
if you've got a flat tire, you don't suddenly get a knife and go, fuck it, I'm going to ruin the rest of it. You're going to go, right, I'll get that fixed and I'll move on. Like that's what everyone's mindset is, isn't it? They just go, oh my God, well, I've eaten something I shouldn't. Oh, I've had a donut. I may as well have the pack. No, like have the donut and move on.
Oh, by the way, whilst we're talking about food, right? I ripped the packet. The espresso biscoff, they're overrated. They're if they were stronger coffee flavour, I could get on board.
I drink coffee, I don't like it. But yeah, those cream egg Oreos, so that's the thing. So talking about post-show, that was my treat post-show. I had a packet of those cream egg Oreos, and I can eat like that. I could do an eating contest. They can be gone in seconds. I love an Oreo. But I know I don't need the whole pack. So obviously I gave Emily some, offered you some, gave Emily some, and then my sister had some, and then her husband finished the rest. I was like, the rest are yours. I gave myself 3. Because again, whether you have 1 bite or whether you have a 20 million bites, it tastes the same.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be present. I enjoyed it. I limited myself, but I'm not limiting myself. Like 3 is a good amount. I don't need more than that. I got to taste the flavour. Everyone else has the rest.
Mate, I can't begin to tell you how many times I have bought a pack of 4 Planet Donuts from the stall at PCA and never eaten them.
Oh, really? So I
do it all the time.
Get the rest. I'm like, bite, eat. Bite, eat. And one of the best things I ever did was I went to after Universal last year. I said to Matt, let's go to, it was in Hull. So I was like, let's go to the all you can eat. And he was like, I don't think that's my thing is tastes. So
No, I get that.
Again, portion control. I got a bowl, not a plate. And I just put like a flavour of like little things. I made sure I was drinking loads. So for me, that actually was one of the best because we've done an all you can eat where I've been off season. And trust me, I'm 10 plates deep while Matt's 2 plates deep passed out. And
Boys are pathetic, aren't they?
Yeah, really bad. But to me, like that's managing my expectations. I put myself in a situation where I'm going to make sure I drink. It sounds silly. Chew your food. Don't inhale. Let your body digest things. And then but we can digress. But yeah,
genuinely for me, I buy the same 3 things for when I get off stage because I know I will like them and I want them. And Josh always laughs at me because the first thing that I have as soon as I get off stage every time is a Pink Lady apple without fail.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm dehydrated and I want something sweet.
Yeah.
So fruit hits that spot immediately for me.
Oh, to be fair, I have mango.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love a crunch on a Pink Lady apple. Or if I can't get a Pink Lady apple, then I can get on board with pineapple or grapes. But I need something that is hydrating but sweet. Yeah. And then chili heat wave Doritos and M&S bakery cookies, right? Oh, yeah. So for me, I know that if I have them, I'm not going to be disappointed by them. I'll eat them and I'll enjoy them. And I won't be seeking for other things to try to satisfy that, that was disappointing, so I need more kind of feeling. Like, I think if you are going to buy anything, I say to my clients all the time, don't buy anything, right? Don't get anything for when you get off stage. See what you want and understand that you live in the UK. So if you want a chocolate bar, there will be a Tesco somewhere nearby. Like, you can go and do that. Like, I've even said to my clients before, don't book a restaurant for post-show because you don't know what you're going to fancy on the day. So then if you're committed to this restaurant, you're going to force yourself to eat whatever it is that you're booked to eat, even if you don't want it. Like, unless for example, like I just go to a Five Guys, right? Because I know that I'm going to love a Five Guys burger and a milkshake. But like, I don't need to book that. But yeah, I just think, understand that what you think you will want on show day, you probably won't want. But whatever you get, you're going to eat it regardless. So just try not to make it difficult for yourself.
Is it you or me?
Eva?
So I've got this one. Curious about PEDs. Been competing for a few years. slightly older and bikini. What can you tell me about Primo? I think that's meant to be and Anavar. Done
Okay.
one cycle of Anavar and prep, but thinking of Primo in off season to really help build density in legs and glutes. FYI, I nail nutrition, sleep, and training already. What's your thoughts on it?
Okay, so speaking as an older lady, no, so basically I was natural until I turned pro. So, well, I say natural. I'd used Clen from 2020 up until I turned pro. And then I didn't do my first cycle of anabolics until my first off season after I turned pro. Now, I'd made a conscious decision in 2022, which was the year that I turned pro, where I was like, right, if I don't get my pro card this year, I will try using anabolics next year, because either that's going to be my last year that I try to get my pro card and I knock it on the head. So I want to give it everything that I can to try to get there and see what we can do. Or if I do turn pro, then being on the older end of the sport, I'm going to be competing against kids. Because like obviously at that time they didn't have pro masters, it was just pro bikini. So for me it was like I was 36, people were getting their pro cards in juniors. So for me it was like I'm gonna have to make improvements to make sure that I am competitive, but I'm probably not going to be able to progress at the same rate as my younger counterparts, so I might need a little bit of help to just boost that progress along. So that was my theory behind, and then initially I've used Primo and Anavar, but in very small doses. There's the whole debate about what's better, Primo or Anavar, and I do think it's very person dependent. They all come with their pros and cons, and I'd always say whatever you're considering, just make sure that you do your research on the pros and cons, get different perspectives, hear what people have to say about it. I think if you just go off one person's perspective, then that's not, I don't think that's a sensible thing to do. But I don't think that, I feel like there's a pressure now for people to feel like they have to do it. And I feel like just because other people are doing it doesn't mean that you should do it. And also at the same time, just because other people are doing it doesn't mean that if you do it, you're going to get the same outcome that they do, because people's response to PEDs is very person dependent. Like I know some people that have used Anavar and Primo and seen none of the positive impacts of it, but got all of the negative impacts of it. And I also think at the same time, and I feel very passionately about this, and I say this to my clients all the time, if you're not nailing the consistency when it comes to food and training and actually training hard and with intensity, you might as well get that in order before you start talking about anabolics. Because if you're not training hard, like glitter on shit is just glittery shit, it's not gold. So that's how I feel about it. So it's like I'd really assess and analyse, are you happy with the risks as well as the benefits? What do you see your future as being in the sport? Like there's no point in dedicating yourself to doing something that could be harmful to your body if you're doing one show and never doing it again. Do you know what I mean? And on the flip side of that as well, are you maximising all of your foundation tools before you're adding that in?
She does say, FYI, now nutrition, sleep, and training already. Mm-hmm. She's obviously
but I think a lot of people say that they're nailing it, right? Like I've had my clients where I'm like, send me your training videos, and they're doing 20 kilos a side on a glute drive, and I'm like, don't even talk to me about assistance if you think that that's hard. Like I think that you really need to have a proper thorough review from your coach or whoever you're accountable to, for them to determine that you're actually nailing it rather than just going through the motions. Because in my experience, and I don't know if this is the same as you, G, but like when I train with a lot of my clients in person, they tell me they're pushing hard, and then they train with me and I'm like, you're not even anywhere near what your max capacity is.
Yeah.
And they often end up doubling what they think they could be doing. And I'm not saying they're being lazy, but it's often a confidence thing. It's often a case of they feel something that they feel is heavy and they go, oh, can't do more than that. And it's like, but they more often than not can.
So, I mean, obviously being with a knowledgeable coach, first and foremost, because there's a few unanswered questions here. You've done a cycle of Anavar and prep, and I've had many girls come to me that have been on assistance, and I am shocked as to what their exposure time has been and the dose they have been on. So that is such a big thing to consider. Then also considering how long, when you finish prep, when you're reversed, when you're looking to go on again, because I'm very big on exposure time. You need a good amount of exposure, a break between exposure time.
Agree.
Then, because then also knowing, do you know what you're looking out for? I've spoken to girls before, like, do you know if you're going to touch some androgens, do you know what side effects you're looking for? You know, you can track your voice on a free app. Are you doing that? A lot of girls aren't. And I'm like, be aware of the risk to rewards.
Also understand that if these things happen to you, they're permanent, right? I think a lot of people think that if these things happen and they stop taking the drugs, it just goes away. It doesn't work like that.
And also bear in mind, so where you said like Primo over Anavar, so the reason Anavar tends to be preferred is because of the half-life being a lot shorter. So if
and it's oral.
Yeah. Obviously the subjectiveness of it's because we've grown up on pills for contraception. It's easier to pop a pill than it is to inject, put a needle in. But in the sense of if you notice some virilization and you're like, oh my God, my voice is getting a bit deeper, you can stop
take
a
it
pill,
out.
and that half-life is going to be a lot quicker taking Anavar than it is Primo. So that tends to be the reason that Anavar would be preferred in phase. Also knowing there's other routes you can go down that are non-androgenic that can still enable, obviously androgens are always going to be the growth pathway, but like there are other things that can assist in growth in the sense of like HGH, in the sense of, that doesn't enable muscle growth, but it does help you potentially get better sleep because you're working down your growth pathways. And if you get better sleep, you're recovering better. That means better growth. It helps the way you store your fat tissue, which then again means your body composition is going to be a bit better. So in your growth phase, you're going to look a bit better there's many different avenues that are non-androgenic. So looking down supportive avenues that are still assistance, but not androgenic pathways. Then again, the cycle length to the time frame that you want to achieve said goals, to then the expectations that you have from doing said assistance, whatever. There's
I just don't think it's as straightforward a decision as people make it out to be.
It's not pop a pill and I'm going to get massive. Especially for females, guys, they might, they're fucking whacking in all sorts and going for it. And it's also what you get on with. I know some girls that have taken a very high androgen load and have not noticed any virilization whatsoever, but some girls will touch aside. I know one girl, and she uses Masteron because she doesn't virilize, or very much so. She takes some consequences, but she takes that because she virilizes very strongly on Anavar and Primo. So again, it's very much, if you've been okay on Anavar before and you haven't noticed any side effects, and that's the route you want to go down, risk to reward, knowledgeable coach, all the stuff we mentioned, then stick with that. Because if you haven't noticed anything, monitor that exposure time. But I see it as it's like having a tap that's got the plug in. And every time you expose yourself to it, you're just filling up the sink. You can't take the plug out. So you're just filling up that sink every time. So that's how I use that analogy. So that's why you have to know how often are you going to turn that tap on and how quickly you're filling up that sink. And everyone's different. Everyone, like I said, I know some girls that have been exposed to a lot, and I am like, what the hell? Have you noticed nothing? obscene amounts, but then you get some girls that are like, nope, as soon as they've touched something, it's not worth it. So risk to reward, sensible, all that kind of stuff. If you've got any further questions for either of us, drop us a message, because it is.
I will be honest, like I am very cautious of giving general advice when it comes to PEDs,
especially if you're
because
with a coach.
It's very person independent, person dependent.
As you've seen, there's a lot of questions that need to. It's not a take 2.5 milligrams of Anavar for 6 weeks and hope for the best. Like, it just isn't. There's a lot of other variables you need to add. You need to have all your ducks in a row and make sure everything's like in a spot before you even think about where your previous is and what your outcome is, and then all the things that are needed to get the best outcome from it. So you're not.
And I think also understand that when you use anabolics in a prep scenario, it's pretty much cosmetic effect rather than actual benefits of using the.
It's stopping you withering away. You're not building nothing.
Yeah, you're not building anything.
You're exposing yourself to no growth.
So it's like, if you think that Anavar helped you grow muscle in prep, no,
just
like
make you look veiny and vascular. And that's only if you're lean. If you're not lean, and you have a coach that puts you on Anavar, it's doing nothing but exposing you, and it is, as in not exposing you, but creating you to be exposed to a drug that is, just
not doing its job.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's doing fuck all. Like, take it out. Get lean. Grow the muscle first. Like, literally. So,
but I just think the big thing for me is just really weigh it up before you do it. It shouldn't just be a simple, oh, my coach told me to, so I did, or like, they're doing it, so I did. Like,
I had someone tell, like, literally, I won't even go into some of the things because it is baffling. But if you have questions, this leads on to this. So one of my other questions is biggest red flags you see in coaches. So this is actually going to lead on to this.
Ooh,
if you feel like you cannot ask your coach questions, or if you ask a coach questions and they say because I said so, or because you have to, or do you want to win or not, or that's going to get you results, but they never explain anything. Like, the biggest thing you need to have, especially just as coach in general, like going through a prep, going through a reverse, you need to have that trust, and know a coach is always going to push you, but in the sense of, if you've got questions or if you've got worries and your coach just shuts you up, or you're just scared to talk to your coach, like that's a red flag. So we're going to touch on that. That's a red flag. So that's a big thing to know, that you're with a coach that you are going to be able to communicate with and you feel safe with, you feel looked after with, not just this is your cookie cutter plan, do this because I said so.
Yeah. So we're jumping on to red flags on coaches.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure we can reel off a few.
Okay, so I think this one is very covert and very subtle, but I mean it and I say it with my chest. Coaches that slide in your DMs, undermining or making you doubt your coach. Like, they're gonna come to you under the guise of, I'm here to help you, and I want you to know that if this was me, I would do this better. That's going to be flattering, but that's a red flag in my opinion.
It's going to put so much, because at the end of the day, that coach that's sliding into your DM, say you've struggled to lose fat, say there's been a lot of stress, say it's like, there's things going on, and your coach is doing everything they can do. They've put you in a deficit, they are working you hard, whatever, but there's something on your side that isn't clicking, isn't working, whatever. And if you have a coach that's, especially a first timer or not, but you have a coach coming into your DM going, I would have got you leaner, I would have got you that first place, I would have got you on less cardio. No, because your coach, especially if you're with a coach that you trust and respect, they're ultimately you just need to leave before someone gets into DM if you don't have that trust of your coach. So if you are led astray by someone else promising something, then you shouldn't be probably with that coach anyway.
I just think there's a lot of coaches that slide into people's DMs under the guise of a friend or friendly advice,
they
or
don't know you.
I care about you. It's like, you know nothing about this person's individual circumstances, why they may be aren't where they need to be. Like, it could actually be that they've been cheating on the diet and nobody knows about it, or there's a medical condition going on in the background. Like, nobody knows that they could do better. Like, I've seen plenty of coaches that have gone on like a PCA reel going, oh, needs to be leaner, come get coached by me and I'll make sure you're where you need to be. And then they put that person on stage when they've gone to them and they've looked exactly the same as they did before. It's like, it's not, ultimately, I feel like any coach that needs to do that, it's a red flag for me in a sense of, it's like, why aren't you focusing on the clients that you've got? Right, that energy that you're putting into this person should probably be going to the clients that you've got. So just know that
energy into someone else's client, that's showing how many clients do you actually have.
And it's, that's the thing. It screams desperation in a sense of, it's like, right, okay, you're actively seeking out, trying to get more clients by taking them off other people and also taking the focus off your own clients at the same time. Like, I don't think there's ever, for me, I don't think that you could ever consider a coach sliding in your DM and trying to befriend you and say they could do better as a good situation. It's flattering, but I don't think it ever signals anything positive coming out of that.
Yeah. Any other red flags? I mean, I know we could talk about a few, but we'll keep it to the key main points.
Oh, I should have more. I would always lean to drugs and DMs as the top two that would get me going. I think can you think of any?
I think if you have a coach that's, I don't know. If it's like very one size fits all, I do think the communication's a big thing as well. Mainly because my first ever coach, I was too scared to speak to. But it is a two-way thing. I sometimes have had girls that have been worried to speak to me because they feel like they might have let me down, and I can hands down say they would have never let me down. So I think being a client, you can't put that pressure. You can't put that pressure. Oh, I'm gonna fall off. Pressure on yourself. With a coach, like they just want you to feel like you can communicate. But red flags, it is just going to be mainly, especially for females, it is going to be the drug side of things. It is going to be the communication side of things. And it is going to be, if coaches are going into DMs and explaining that they can do a better job when they have no idea who you are, then that says more about the coach than anything else.
Yeah. I think we could probably go into more.
Yeah. But I mean, we've been on this podcast for a while now. So
I know. Have you got any more?
I don't know. You had a few, didn't you?
I've got a couple. One of them probably won't take that long to answer.
Okay, you go with that one.
And the other one might be a little bit of a longer one. Thoughts on people... Sorry, I'm going to word this in a way that I think it was meant to be said, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Thoughts on people ignoring you at shows, but they follow you and support you on Insta. Now, I'm going to put my hands up and say I've probably done this multiple times. Like, genuinely, right? Like, especially if it's at a show, right? Especially if I'm competing or I've got clients that are competing, I'm not focused on anything other than that. So I could walk past you. I could probably walk past you, G, and not even register. Like, I've walked past plenty of people that I know to speak to on a regular basis because I'm just focused on being somewhere, doing something. I'm thinking about something that I need to be doing. I'm overwhelmed, overstimulated. Like, there's so if you have ever seen me at a show and I look like that chicken that's running off the boat in Moana, that's me, like, on a show day. And I follow lots of you and support lots of you. And if I've ever been in a situation where I've seen you and I've not said hello, I promise you, I probably haven't even registered who you are. And I mean that with the utmost respect. My mind is just elsewhere. I think as well, and I don't know if you're like this, there are loads of people that I talk to on Instagram that I recognise their Instagram handles and who they are, but I wouldn't necessarily recognise them if I saw them in person. And I mean that respectfully, where I'm like, oh, I speak to, she loves to compete 369 and I know her name and who she is, and like I know who she is to look at her Instagram, but then I've seen her at a show and she's got her makeup done and everything in a different way, and I'm like, didn't even recognize you. Like, I think that if people are maybe actively avoiding you, then that's a little bit different. But I think particularly at shows, what I would say is maybe give people the benefit of the doubt, because more often than not, they're probably focused on something else, which is probably either themselves or someone else, and that sometimes can be distracting. It doesn't necessarily mean that they how it seems. Does that make sense?
Yeah, compared to, if it, like, I'll do like coaches and competitors' point of view. So competitor comes to a competitor. Sometimes people don't mean to come across rude if they just need space. Like, remember, everyone handles show day differently. Some people are out there, they like to be involved, they like to be up, pictures, everything. Some people need to be a recluse. If you've been speaking to them loads on Instagram and you're like besties and all that kind of stuff, but then on show day, they just need to keep to their bubble. Just let them, because that's like, you've worked hard for that day. So if they just need peace, let them have peace. Like, it's your show day to handle as you see fit. So yeah, give them saving grace. It might be like, trust me, I don't recognise a lot of people, whether I'm coach or client or competitor. So for the love of God, if I look like I've got time, also bear in mind, if people are running around, they just might not have time. If I've got time, especially as a coach, and you see me, firstly, come say hi, because I do have the worst resting bitch face at a show, because I've got a million things going on in my head. I'm like working out timings. I don't mean to have that face, but I do. Firstly, come say hello. I do like to say hello to people, but also introduce yourself, because otherwise I'm like, who are you? Because again, you're seeing maybe like a small profile picture, or you don't want to come in the gym, and if you look different, like, you just don't want that. So just be like, oh my God, it's, you know, Sam from this gym, and I sent you a message about this, and oh my God, I will just be way more like, oh my God, how are you?
Genuinely, it's better to introduce yourself, because if I know who you are, and I've done this plenty of times where someone's come up to me and they've gone, I'm blah, 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 and I'm like, I know who you are. It's like instantly I'm like, you didn't need to, but I know who you are. Whereas if I don't know who you are, it gives me the opportunity to be like, oh my God, like, hi, so it genuinely, 9 times out of 10, I either haven't recognised or my brain is just not functioning properly.
Give people saving grace. They might, if it's a competitor thing and you're like, oh, I've spoken to her loads, but on show day she was really like standoffish. That might just be how she's handling show day. She might be nervous, whatever. So just give her some grace. If it's the fact that, you know, someone's just not acknowledging you, they just might not know who you are, because you are so different from your prep face. Like I used to saying from Gollum to gorgeous. You got that little Smeagol, and then you like suddenly you have this massive glow up. So yeah, you're going to look different. So, you know, even the first time I ever had my makeup done for my first ever show, Matt was like, "Oh, you look different." Yeah, that happens. So yeah, you look different.
Genuinely, I had in my first competitive season, I had someone set up a fake Instagram account to message me and tell me that they thought that I was arrogant and up my own arse because they said hello to me on show day and I didn't respond to them with enough enthusiasm. And this was British finals of my first year of ever competing. Genuinely, I didn't remember who I'd said hello to that day. Like, I wasn't being rude, I wasn't arrogant, I was overstimulated.
Show day, like, you've got the right people around you. Like, even at the universe, I said hello to people, but I had some of my girls there, like my own clients there, wanting to come and support me, and I obviously said hello to them, but I'm doing a million check-ins. I'm like talking to Matt, I'm like seeing how the show's running, like, and my girls respect that, because this is why I tend to keep things separate, because when it comes to like PCA this weekend, oh my God, I am on hand. I am doing your reels, I'm doing your photos, I'm doing your check-ins. You sit with your feet up. Do I need to fix your tan? Do we need to fix your makeup? Like, and you can't. And then I'm running around doing that. So if I happen to see you and you know who I am, but I'm running around, but again, please just catch me when I'm not running around. But that's the whole point. Like, it might be the fact they're running around for their client. It might be the fact they're running around for someone else. If they're sitting there being quiet, like, just like use a sense.
Give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, and if it's a repeat pattern, then maybe they're just a bit of a words we won't say on here, but like, and some people are like that. Some people are just not your people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that just is what it is. But I think for the most part, most people are probably overstimulated, focused on something else, or just trying to calm themselves
And
down.
if you want to find, if you come across them and they're not doing a lot, like if we happen to, if we're sat watching a show, if we're walking out the toilet or whatever, we don't seem like we're, just come say hi, introduce yourself. Like, don't, because like I said, we might not recognize who you are, but if you come over and say hi, complete demeanor change, because we're not going to walk around like all the time. Weird, isn't it? But so we'll walk around, but if you introduce yourself, like literally happiest people in the world. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you got any more questions?
I think so, but should we leave it for another one?
I think
yeah.
if I had one more, so person that I haven't answered your question, we will get
If
to
you
that.
want more of these, and we actually cut them shorter, so I think we just felt like we were going to get through them all, and we didn't. We'll both be at PCA this weekend.
Come
So
say
PCA
hey if you're there.
Southwest. Yeah, come say hello. Please
Introduce yourselves.
tell us who you are. Yeah, if you do this, we know you're from the podcast. But I've got one girl doing the two. It's so annoying they clash. The two bros, and then but I will be at the PCA because I have two girls doing the PCA. So, but
I've got one on for Masters, so I will also be there.
Dream team. So yeah, we'll obviously be able to cover that one. But again, if you want us to do any more Q&As, if you want us to do any more physique things, like physique assessments, we can do more like that. But otherwise, we'll keep up with the show content. And if you stuck around for this long, absolutely well done.
Thanks, guys.
Like, subscribe, everything. Have a good week, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.